How's it going, guys? Second video for today, 12/23, still March 18th. So, as I was in the middle of my workout, I stopped to record this vlog while the other video is uploading, saving, and doing a couple different things. So, as I was doing it, I was trying to think of the next video to do, and it kind of hit me. I want to title this one, Push Yourself. So, and this goes in line a little bit with the timing, but it's more of pushing yourself on a individual basis to either grow, succeed, and do a lot of other things. So, as I was working out, I realized something. When I used to do workouts and I was trying to get to a personal best for push-ups I can complete in a day, I think I got up to like 800 or maybe even close to 1,000. I know it was upwards of 800. I can't quite remember. It was a couple years ago. But I used to start off by doing 5 repetitions in between each set of exercise that I would do. So if I do, I don't know, 10 squats, 12 squats, in between that I'd do 5 push-ups. And if I did, I don't know, some bench press, in between the bench press exercise, the more intense exercise, I do 5 push-ups. And it didn't, when I started off doing the 5 push-ups, it didn't make a huge difference right away. And the way I sneaked it in on my body to confuse my body, but to where I'd be able to do it, and this was in between each set. So if I ended up doing, I don't know, let's say 12 sets for the course of the workout, for the entire workout, you do 12 times 5, you end up doing 60 push-ups for that day in between the sets, which isn't really something to shake a stick at, but still, for me, starting off that way and doing it, initially it shocked my body a little bit, and I would notice the results. And I was pretty excited for them. And my body started to grow. And then I would increase that rep every time I did push-ups or worked on upper body. I would increase that number by 1 every time I did it. So every other day I would increase it by 1. So as I'm doing these things and I'm increasing, so like the next workout I would do 6 push-ups in between each set, and then the following day I'd do 7 push-ups in between each set, and I got to a point to where I think I was near 25 to 30 push-ups in between each set. Form started to take a turn for the worse after about 20. 20 was a good solid number for me to read, where form was still good, but I wanted to get to a certain goal and just keep pushing my body. Sometimes my muscles would be so spastic that they would tighten up, and I eventually, it felt almost numb to a sense when I'd get above 500 push-ups for that particular day. So as I'm doing these, as I get up to 25, now this takes some time to do. I'm talking about weeks, if not months, to get to that point, and several months. But yeah, I mean, you have to do the math. It's every time you work out upper body, which would be every other day, you increase by 1, depending on if your form is still good. And in the beginning, I was very particular about form. But once I got to 25, and after the first solid 20, I would let my form go south and just, it would almost be like failure, but my muscles got so tense that the repetitive motion was just, it came natural to me. And it felt like something you could do without much thought or without much, it was just, I would do it like a machine, so to speak. But I noticed that it wasn't the healthiest thing for my joints, but I did set out to achieve a goal, and I did do it, and I pushed myself beyond what I thought my limits were. For me, I had a personal goal to do 500, and I would try to break it up throughout the day. And when I smashed that goal, and I remember I reached above 750, I was really excited for that. It did take some time, and it was slow effort, but if it wasn't pushing myself every day, even when my muscles were fatigued, and I would still keep going. And the push-ups were a solid regimen of mine that I would use to do every single day. I would still keep going even if it drove me crazy. And I still use kind of that same mentality. I'm more focused in what the exercises I do today, and I don't do that anymore just because my joints couldn't really take it for that long. And as you can imagine, it's not the healthiest thing to do, but I needed to push my body at that point in time in order to grow and do the things that I wanted to do in the military. So pushing myself to that extent in between sets was great. I actually like the feeling that as I go to like a massage therapist now, years later, my muscles are still very tight, still very wound, and lack of stretching is just it wasn't healthy for the muscles. So I definitely stretch every single day now in order to open those muscles back up and to actually when you stretch you give your muscles to an ability to reach more potential when you open them back up after your workout. There was times I remember, and I was telling my massage therapist that I couldn't even wash my hair because my arms were just so fatigued, and I couldn't wash my back in the shower. It was just obnoxious, and that was just from doing push-ups, along with the other exercises I did. But where I really grinded it out was the push-ups, and I pushed myself so hard for so long that it became natural to me to act that way towards a lot of different aspects that I had encountered in that life, and using that same mentality in order to push back on life. When things kind of went south, I would just grind it out and work through it. But if it wasn't for me pushing myself and using those set of circumstances to teach myself that the limits that I had set on myself were just those limits I imposed on myself, and to sneak it up on my body by adding one a day really showed a slight improvement over time, but over the course of time it showed a huge improvement. So you have to continue to push yourself on a daily basis in order to maximize yourself and figure out a way to do it in small incremental changes to where your body or your mind can't really take notice, because a lot of the time people think that you have to make these leaps and bounds, and sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes you do make those leaps and bounds in a day, and sometimes it takes months and years to do those things and to reach that pinnacle point, as I would so call it. But still continuing to move forward and push myself is what got me to where I'm at today. And then you get wiser and smarter and you can fine tune it, but you have the capability to push through almost everything that you set your mind to. So that'll be it for the second vlog for today. I appreciate you guys still watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. I'm still at 45 subscribers, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.